Hi my loves, welcome to another video, and this is a channel where we have conscious convos. This video is really just for anyone, but I am targeting this towards Gen Zers because there's a higher amount of Gen Zers that want change and are willing to actually do something about it. I realize just how silly Gen Zers kind of sounds, but like that's the only really way I know how to identify the group of people I'm trying to talk about. Please just spare me. Through all generations, we see shifts. We see things evolve, we see things change, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. We already know that Gen Z, we're quitting jobs faster. We're really realizing that the American dream is not something that we actually want. We're realizing that college, this guaranteed success rate for college is a scam and is a lie, and it actually keeps you in debt. We're starting to realize that capitalism, and not just capitalism, but the matrix is really just an illusion, and it's not something we actually have to do. We're realizing that we want to be happy. We're realizing that we can make the change we are asking for. And this is not just to say that older generations just didn't do anything about it. A lot of the times they were not in a predicament where they could do anything about it. They were not in a predicament where they could just be like, yeah, I don't want to work, so let's just cut that out, okay? And let's go on the internet and see what we can find. Because again, there was a moment in time where we didn't have internet. There was a moment in time where slavery existed, and there was a lot of things we could not do back then. We are privileged. That's not to be like, oh, Gen Z's so privileged, we don't go through anything. No. We're still in this world with all the problems that have been left behind. All the problems that we are essentially supposed to either accept or change. Slowly and slowly, we're starting to realize that we can be that change. And that is why I'm making this video for Gen Zers, but really for everyone that is willing to listen and willing to change. I just seen a video of this lady, I forgot her name already, and I'm so sorry. It starts with the S. I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to show you guys the information that I've seen this morning on TikTok. And it really saddens my heart that even till this day, minorities are dying just because hate exists in our world. People are generally just killing people because they hate. That is something that we cannot change. We can't change the hate of other people. But what we can do is make sure that we're good inside. And I'm no way of saying that this lady passed away because she was not good within. I think she was great within, and I think there's just people that have a lot of hatred. And when you have hatred and power, there's a lot of things you can get away with. I'm bringing this awareness because, one, that woman did not deserve to die. It's so unfortunate because these are so many stories and stories and stories, and we're saying stories, but really these are real people's lives. That man killed that lady. That lady could have been someone's mom, maybe someone's daughter, and you killed her and then get to go on and go home to yours. It's just a sick thing. And I think it all stems down to that we are not okay with it. We have not healed the stuff that we have going on within. Because I honestly, when I really think about why racism really exists, it's because people hate themselves. People genuinely hate themselves, and they want other people to feel that hatred. They trick their minds sometimes to believe that hatred is for other people when it's truly for themselves. Whether it's someone making you feel inadequate, someone making you feel less than, someone just being better at something than you are, all these things, someone being confident when you're not and you feel like they shouldn't be. It's all hate. When we really go undercover and think about what this really stems from, it stems from self-hate. If we take in consideration that everything around us is a reflection of ourselves, then when we treat others with hate, we treat the world with hate, we treat animals with hate, it all is going back to the fact that we hate ourselves. And I feel like we're jumping from minorities to self-hate, but it's all coming together because when we really think about it, we need to heal what we have inside of ourselves. We need to pour that love into ourselves, especially minorities, especially Gen Z, because there is so much baggage from the history of the world. And that's not to say that the world is not beautiful and life is not beautiful at the same time, but we can't ignore the history that has allowed us to be here in this time. What does Kamala Harris say?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context. Of all in which you live and what came before you.
She ate that one thing. Yeah, because like really think about it. Understanding that we have the privilege that if we want to change, we can genuinely acquire that change. It's ultimate power. And when we come together, especially minorities, when we come together and we make the safe space for everyone, we make that safe space for us, we heal those wounds inside that we were brought into this world with. The wounds from the past, the wound from generation to generation to generation. We are changing the vibration of our world. We are raising the vibration of our world. We have to understand that it really does start with one person. If you take time to heal what's within, you'll watch it affect other people. Some people might be like, peace out, because I don't want to change and you're triggering me. And then there's going to be other people that are like, I want to change like this too. One other person that wants to change can now help you raising the vibration of the world. That other person can find another person in their life that sees what they're doing and wants to change, and then another person, and then another person, and then another person, and then another person, and that's how it adds up. This is like counting, but we really act like one person can't change anything. We really need to get out of that mindset, because at the end of the day, anything that we've done in this world that has made a big influence on our life started with one person, and it expanded to multiple amounts of people, to all the people that felt like they needed to be part of the project. I was also thinking the other day about the Haitian Revolution. It couldn't have just been one person. They had to come together and fight for their country and their land, and they did. We just really need to remember that we are in power, and a lot of us are waking up to this realization a lot sooner than our parents have and our grandparents have, and that is a blessing. It's not to just be like, I have this awareness and it just makes me depressed. And it's okay to feel the weight of the world and have a not so positive reaction about it. But what we have to understand is that everything is a reflection of us. And it's so important for us minorities to come together and stick together and create safe spaces for each other, because we've been stripped away from that for generations. So it's so important that we create these safe spaces for ourselves. And even if it's not a bunch of people right now, do it for yourself. Because what you'll realize is that even you by yourself, you're raising the vibration of the planet by genuinely working on yourself and bringing more love into your life. Seeing that video today really just disturbed me, and like it should anyone, because that lady, her life was taken away for nothing. She didn't do anything. She genuinely didn't do anything. She was talking softly. She wasn't attacking nobody. The one thing that she said was, I rebuke you. And it's probably because she can generally feel the negative energy and the malice and the hatred coming off of him. Like our ancestors, they fought for so long, shed blood, tears, sweat, skin. Like, people were dying so that we can have the privilege that we have today. And the fact that the fight is not over, but we are becoming complacent. And I can't even fully blame us for being complacent, because look at all the things around us that are trying to condition us to never look outside, to never get out of this box of just consuming and consuming and consuming and never actually thinking for ourselves. The blind following, the blind believing, we're over that. There's enough of us that are waking up to realize that we can make a change, and we need to start implementing it in our daily lives. We need to start changing. We need to be the change that we want to achieve. It's really crazy because I see so much people be like, the world is so cruel, like such a cruel world. And at times the world can be very heavy, but what are we doing to change that genuinely? And we don't have to have the biggest organization in the world. We don't have to have a bunch of money to send to charity, but what we can do is work with ourselves. We can heal the wounds inside and help others do the same. When we are vibrating on love and light, and we implement the darkness into the light and not just stare at the darkness and act like it's not a part of us, when we stop hating ourselves, genuinely stop hating ourselves, it's easier to have compassion for others. It's easier to see another human being and never think of killing them. It's so much easier because we've healed that within ourselves. We don't want to share the hate that's within ourselves because we've diminished it. We transmuted it into love. And that's what we have to give now, love. We don't understand that so much of us go through so much pain, and instead of healing that pain within us, instead of taking the burdens that came from this world and not just accepting them and sitting there and be like, this is just the way it is, but transmuting that into something positive, into something beneficial, it's life-changing. And it changes more than just your life. It changes the people around you. And if you get on social media, it can change more people than you can ever imagine. And even if you don't get on social media and share your thoughts, you changing one other person's life can change someone else's life and their life. And it's like a snowball effect. I already explained it, but yes. Because at this point, it's like, how much more lives can we take before we say this is enough? How much more pain do we have to go through before we say it's enough? And that's honestly the question I'm going to leave you guys with, because